are now looking behind and seeing this undead horde pouring into the central road that you're traveling along. You hear a voice ring out from the other direction, towards where you guys are running. For a second, it's hard to make out what it is, but the voice is suddenly readily familiar. It says, "There! Run! Aid them!" And as you guys glance away from the army and back towards the pathway you're traveling, you see what looks to be about 10 armed villagers. Various pieces of armor, some nicer than others, some have seen some use over time, but nevertheless serviceable and functional. You see at the front of them, Brother Yenin. Keeper Yenin is at the front of them, armored up, shield at his side, holding aloft the holy symbol of Arathis in his hand, and they're all just running towards you guys. Entities.
So we're 50 or 60 feet away from the skeletons, and how far are we away from the villagers?
They're about 100 feet from you and closing.
I would advise bringing them with us instead of stopping.
But all the villagers that aren't in armor are still in town.
Shit happens.
Let's find out what happened.
I'm going back towards the skeletons. I break from Vax's grasp and start running back. Ooh, I rolled an 18.
5.
With that, the slick rain across her forearm, she squeaks her arm out from your grasp, and with that moment, you feel her disappear as she rushes back towards
You never could keep a lady.
I immediately pivot around and follow.
Okay.
I throw up a wall of stone, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna conjure it from underneath me. So I'm gonna kind of, as I see them filtering up, I want to pop it up right from underneath me to where I'm on top of it.
Okay, and the width of it's gonna cover the entire
street. Yeah. Okay.
You can now see, about to crash into the wall, what looks about 70 or so skeletons just scraping into it. You guys can all of a sudden hear, through the rainfall in the distance, the scratching of metal, shields and blades and bones scraping at the stone wall. And
I'm gonna try and climb the wall.
So I'm gonna take the fire sphere and just start funneling it right down and start cleaning house.
You guys have caught up to the wall now. The rest of you have turned around with her.
I ran for a few more feet and then I looked around. No one else was running with me, so I just turned around and we started running back with my little gnome legs.
Okay. Percy.
I'm climbing the wall.
Climbing the wall.
Okay. You guys get up on top of the wall. It's about 4 or 5 feet thick. It's a little precarious, but not too much to really much of a bother to you guys. You get up to the top and you look over and you just see this sea of thrashing about skeletal entities. Some looking fresher than others. And all intent on trying to find some way, and you start to see some of them are starting to climb up over each other to get to the height of the wall.
I'm just going to hold, and anybody who gets too close, I'm just going to take a shot at anything that gets too close.
Okay.
Turn back towards the villagers.
I think we do.
Who are probably running up at this point and yell, "Fire! Bring fire!"
You see Keeper says, "Fire won't help, but I can.
Whoa!
And so can she."
Ooh.
As he looks over his shoulder, you can see the villagers are parting, and there is running behind them this form of a small humanoid armored entity, but glowing. Her actual form is comprised of glowing radiant energy, like an actual avatar of Sarenrae in the form of a tiny gnome cleric charging through the rain. Each droplet of rain that hits her body just immediately evaporates on impact, and she comes charging towards you guys.
I'm reaching down to help her up on the top of the wall.
Okay.
All right.
With that, you lift her up, and she's lighter than you recall, and almost like a gentle feather of herself, she lands on her toes on the top of the wall.
She was light already.
I know.
Pike!
Even in full armor.
Hi!
Pike, did we die?
No, you're still alive.
How did you get here? What are you doing here? How did you get here?
Oh gosh, it's a long story. I don't know if we can talk about it right now.
I look at Scanlan and I say, "Go get it," and I grab Scanlan by the back and I throw him up onto the wall.
All right.
Cheerleader boost.
It's easy enough for a 10-foot wall and for a gnome. So with that, Scanlan leaps up and you land next to Pike.
Hi, baby. It's been so long. Man, you look good. Oh man, I'm so distracted by your beauty. Hey, let's kick some ass together, shall we?
Kick some ass. Come on, let's go.
And with that, both Scanlan and Pike, what do you guys want to do?
Ladies first.
Am I allowed to jump off? Can I jump off of the wall?
Oh,
You can, yeah.
Into the group?
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
in this semi-radiant form, you're back and leap into the air, and for a split second you see, with a flash of light, almost like these momentary feather angel wings just burst out of the shoulder of Pike, that flap once and then disperse into sparkling feathers that vanish under the rain. As Pike leaps out, landing 35 feet in the center of this, on top of a skeleton. You slide down its body as its shield pushes you off to the ground, and you land on your feet. And as far as you can tell from your eye line, all you see are chattering skulls and blades around you for all visual perspectives, and a little bit of the skyline above you, a little bit of the clouded night sky. So Pike, are you going to use your action to destroy undead?
Yeah.
As you see all the skeletons begin to reach for you and their blades come pulling down towards your armor, you curl into a ball, clutch your holy symbol of Sarenrae, and through the connection that has allowed you to be here in this moment, you feel this welling up radiant energy just burst out from you in this shock wave of glowing radiant force just blast outward. For that entire blast wave radius, which would be the entirety of this road leading back for about 60 feet, you end up turning to ash roughly 36 of these skeletons.
Whoa! Our jaws are just...
Yeah.
As you look up, you can see the remainder of the horde, which you're looking at probably about, at this point, 20 or so skeletons still pushing forward at this point, just mindlessly rushing towards the closest thing they can see, which is this glowing beacon of a gnome in the center of the street.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so that's Scanlan. What do you want to do?
By the way, can I just say, that's my girlfriend who just did that. I'm going to... She jumped 35 feet out there?
She did, yes.
Can I do that?
If you want to try.
She rolled a natural 20.
She's rolled a natural 20.
Jesus, that was hot. I'm gonna try to jump to her.
Okay.
Gotta limber up first. Stretch out the calves.
This is gonna go so
Ready?
poorly.
That's 20 for
He
love.
falls.
Can't watch.
Natural 20
For
for love.
love. Yeah. 4. And then I'm gonna cast lightning bolt on them. Will I hit Pike? Is she in my line of fire?
Not if you angle it towards the edge.
I will angle it then.
All right, so
Oh, and also, lightning bolt comes from out of my body.
out of your body in a straight line.
Can it come from my cock region?
What?
If you would like to.
I would like it to just spew forth out of my gonads just at them.
That is, of course. Of course you do.
Also, I'm trying to impress Pike.
Uh-huh.
I got a lightning dick.
An arcane display of virility, if ever there was one. Scanlan does a singular, classic, ancient technique of the arcane thrust, and with such a bolt of energy, goes firing out, just barely arcing around Pike's form and slamming into a row of skeletons. So, with that, you can see, looking over your shoulder on the other side of this wall, another bit of skeletal horde is starting to come down one of the nearby intersections and is starting to pull on the other side of you guys.
Oh, we're getting trapped.
Oh, shock. We should
But-
have fucking run.
You do see, however, that the group of 10 villagers and Keeper Yenin are currently like rushing towards that group to hold them at bay, and Keeper runs over his shoulder and says,
You! Don't worry, we've got this. You do what you must. It has begun. Finish it!
and goes charging forward, holding his shield forward, rushing towards the group of skeletons. Rain's pouring so heavily. There's a flash in the distance of lightning. I want everyone to roll perception. In the flash of lightning in the distance, you can see just barely on the other side of the town square what looks like the outline of a giant currently slamming into something. And you, out of the corner of your eye, you see a second one to the south side of the city. There are still a few of these giant sentinels out there. They don't look too terribly close, but they're still on the rampage.
Should get out of here.
Okay.
Or kill them.
Or kill them.
That's a lot of giants to take on
There's
while
two.
we're out
There's
of.
two.
That's
We need to go kill those giants right now. We have a holy gnome right now. I don't know how you came to
That's
us, Pipe.
true.
We need to go to them, and then we need to go to the Briarwoods now.
I'm not-
Get those giants right now.
Are the two giants together, or are they coming from opposite
No,
sides?
there's one over there, and there's one off in that direction.
One to the east, one to the south.
Let's
of
split
west.
the party.
Split the party. I say we do it. Fuck it. Let's split the party. One take
Let's
east,
do
one
it.
take west.
All right, weight it more heavily to the group that does not have Pike.
Yeah.
Okay, who's taking who?
Oh, I'm with Pike.
I don't have to.
Well, we 4 can go and then you 3 can go.
Spellcasters should split up. I'll go without. What did you just say?
I said
Yeah.
Percy, you, me, and Vax go on one, and these 3 go on another.
Yeah.
Good. Go.
I'll take the gnomes on my shoulders.
Why are we splitting this? Is the stupidest.
Oh, it's not the stupidest. Everything we've done in this fight is the stupidest. Let's go. All right.
Let's go.
We're going south.
The gnome, big and smalls are going south.
We meet to the west.
We'll go
Alright.
east.
East.
We meet. We're going east, but
the
we
west.
meet to
Yes.
the west when we're finished.
Yes.
Listen to your.
If we're
Listen to your ears.
Although,
You guys dart off, making your way around the still very ominous and creepy sun tree to your left. You can see all the various muddy prints of all the scraping skeletons that came through here. And in the distance, you can still hear echoing shouts, combat shouts, commands being sent throughout. There's still very much an aggressive presence of the resistance in the city. You have no idea whether or not it's on the winning or losing side at this moment, but it is still active. You guys divide at this point, starting with you guys. Grog holding both the gnomes, and you can feel Pike is lighter than normal, and you know her weight quite well, as you're used to putting her up on your shoulders from growing up with her. As you glance off, you can see there is another patch of skeletons. There's currently about 5 or well, you can see maybe 5 villagers that are just trying to tear through them. You see a couple of bodies of villagers that have recently been killed. There's one that's actually still partially alive on the ground. It's like dragging itself through the mud in your direction. Like, rain pouring down. There's a big trail of mud and blood currently behind him as he's kind of making his way towards you guys.
Help!
Okay.
We stop and let Pike down.
Okay, so you rush up to this guy. As you get up to him, you see his face is half covered in blood. His side is very heavily wounded. It looks like he took some sort of a spear wound that then tore through his midsection. He's been bleeding out pretty heavily at this point and probably doesn't have much longer to him. As you bring Pike down below him, Pike, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'll cure wounds.
What level?
I'll do 3rd.
Okay, so go ahead and roll proper on that. It's,
She's the best. Look at her, Grog. She's helping an innocent bystander. She didn't have to. She
Let's
just.
step on his throat after she's done.
You reach forward. He looks up at you like he just is seeing an angel walk towards him and looks scared. He's like, no, not yet, not yet. And as you reach forward and kind of touch the sides of his face with your smile of mercy and understanding, your warm hands touch the sides of his head, and the energy of Sarenrae's blessing pours through his body. You can see the insides of his armor begin to give this soft glow from where the wounds are as they close up. You can see the large gash in his side begin to stitch itself up magically, and at that point he takes a deep breath for a second and kind of turns over and is now sitting in a sitting position, breathing heavily, looking around himself confused. You're an angel. You're a bloody right angel.
No, I'm not.
He reaches out for you with his hand forward. Thank you.
I help him up.
He gets up and he still seems sore and bruised and he still wounds across his body, but he's no longer on the path to terminal loss of his life. He stands up. Okay.
Run now.
Oh, I intend to. And he reaches over to the mud and finds his sword. Wipes it off from the side. Turns around and rushes back into the rest of his allies.
I like him.
He's a good guy.
Immediately you hear that familiar sound of a large, heavy mass slamming into the ground. And as soon as you turn the corner, you can see there are 3 people left in this one resistance brigade. There is a pile of wounded and or killed soldiers around its feet, and it looks like it's been nearly untouched. This one just apparently got the drop on, or at least they were not fully prepared for what they were up against, and it's just swinging this giant club in the air around towards them. They're all kind of keeping their distance, not knowing if they should run or keep fighting. As you just turn around the corner, I want you guys to roll initiative.
But I will take out my wand of magic missiles. Because I gotta use everything I got at this point. And I will shoot. Fuck it. 6 missiles. I'll sing a song of inspiration for Grog.
Alrighty.
Well, no, Whitestone's got problems. And now we really can't solve them unless we make really deep cuts. So baby, show me that Grog blood.
his foot into the muddy.
My jam! And I go into a frenzied rage, and I rush the stone giant from behind.
Next to Grog, can I get near Grog? Where can I get at an angle where I won't hit Grog with lightning?
And you can, but you pretty much every angle you're gonna hit somebody aside.
Oh,
from
I don't
the
care
guy.
about those guys. I guess I should. Pike's with me. I gotta do this right.
Damn it.
Your turn.
I'll inspire Pike. I'll turn to her and I'll say,
Further.
I wish they all could be cleric Nomian girls.
All right, Pike, you get a D10 inspiration dice from Scanlan, a voice you've longed to hear for some time as your friendship has been so far away. So take your 1d10.
That Scanlan friendship.
Friendship. Oh man.
All right, so both the guards rush up. One of them just misses entirely. One jams the blade to the hilt in the middle of its body and pulls out. The last one actually kind of jumps up onto its back and takes the sword and slams it into its spine and drags it down. Ends their turn. Pike, you're up.
Put some hurt on this undead bastard.
Where are you at, Scanlan?
You mean physically or mentally? Because I'm in love with you. But I'm right next to Grog. Grog and I are right in front of the giant.
Health-wise, where are you at?
Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about me, baby.
Okay. So I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go up to the giant, where the open wound is. Where
Yep.
that guy just broke it open. I have sprinter's boots if I can't get all the way up to it.
Yeah, you'll have to use those to get up to him. Yeah.
Okay, I'll use sprinter's boots.
All right.
I'm gonna use my mace.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start ripping where that wound is.
Actually, you rush up on the side of it. Your sprinter's boots carrying you. This blur of divine gnomish energy. You see through her somewhat shimmering, radiant form. The hair itself glistens against the rain. It almost doesn't even touch. Somehow immaculate in the middle of combat. You find it slow motion in your head, and for that brief moment, you remember how much it hurt to see her go and how happy you are to have her here. However, you, in the middle of your battle trance, Pike, rush up, shield ahead. You take the mace, and seeing the open wound, slam the mace in there once. Wham! As you hit, the actual undead flesh burns away from the impact, leaving this kind of ashy swath of missing flesh in its body. A creature gives out this weird gurgly bellow as its missing jaw goes. Using that moment as it rears back, how do you want to do this? Its head looks down at you, and there's a burst of divine energy as this entire torso just rips open. What would be organs within inside exposed, however, are all also turned to ash as the whole body just dissipates and disintegrates, falling into a puddle of liquid, messy, muddy ash and bits and pieces of remaining giant there as Pike lands on the ground, 3-point landing, mace in one hand, walks over, picks up her shield again, and kind of looks over her shoulder at Grog and Scanlan.
Can I faint?
Yeah.
He's always doing that. Welcome back, Pike.
Oh boy! What the heck?
The three soldiers who are now there looking dumbfounded at this moment kind of step forward, and you look like fighters, except you have this glowing divine entity amongst the three of you. Steps forward.
If I might ask, who are you? And how did you do that?
With the deliverers of this town. Go, spread the word. It all comes down tonight.
You're with the...
Wait, Percy said to meet in the west.
That's right. We should head to the west, to the wall.
By the time yes.
To the city
That's
wall.
We'll head west to
We'll
our,
head to the
our
meeting place
appointed
that Percy
meeting.
mentioned.
Okay.
Wild,
vaguely west.
As we go, I'm looking at clotheslines for any sort of beret type of a hat.
So as you guys go rushing towards the western side of the city to meet with the rest of the group, the rest of you rushing past the center of the town square, you go running through the rain onto the far side. You can now see the form that you originally saw, Vax, is actually one of these giants has been pushed back. As you get all the way to the eastern side, you're actually outside of the city now. You're pushing into the forest, just in the outskirts. The raised hill amongst this this part of the town, just outside of the wall, there is the Temple of Pelor in the center of the large graveyard. You can see that this zombie giant has been pushed back. You can just barely see the crest of him currently slamming some sort of large metallic weapon around right over the tree line as you approach the outside gate of the graveyard itself.
I'm going stealth.
I hunters mark him. I say, brother, you remember that giant a few years back?
I remember that giant.
You're up. And I shoot 2 arrows for my 2 attacks. One into his thigh and then one into his breast right here.
Okay, go for it. Roll for 2 attacks.
Alright, so I hit one ankle against the other on my boots and everything slows down around me a little bit and I double my speed and run towards it.
Hey.
So I'm going to run up to him and I'm going to start swinging up the arrows on his chest and get up to his head.
Okay. So you run up, planting a foot on its thigh, leap in the air, grab onto the arrow that Vex left in its chest, kind of whip upward, and while you're in the air towards its face, go ahead and make your attack.
Yeah.
About. That'll put you just at 30 feet.
Can I see Vax?
Yeah, you can barely see Vax. Vax is hard to see in period, but you can barely see Vax at this point.
Okay.
It's night. He's in black.
So, kind of looking at the giant and realizing that if I bring lightning down, I'll just start electrocuting everybody around. I just kind of meditate for a second and go super calm and start casting heat metal, and I start meditating on Vax's daggers.
Okay.
So your daggers are gonna do an extra 2d8 damage.
Ooh. So you're aware,
oh, shit.
heat metal does 2d8 damage to him for holding on to it. Doesn't do additional damage.
I say we move forward.
Okay, so.
Back attack, that's up!
Both daggers just drop on the ground as they both slam into the mud.
I look over at Keyleth and go,
And I'm like, yeah.
What the fuck?
Hurt this motherfucker so bad.
She's not even watching. She's just concentrating on it. And then with your bonus action?
Bonus action, I'm gonna wrap him up with a grasping vine and try and restrain him.
Okay, so you.
I go. I reach down and I grab the Scalding Hot daggers again and I lift them up.
Okay.
And lunge and sink into his ribs.
So you, holding the daggers, the searing pain, you reach up, slash both daggers down into the front of its body, and you drag across. You can see its chest kind of breaks open, and it kind of stumbles backward, the air expiring from its throat. It pushes up and against it, holding on to that shred of undeath that it currently has in its body, not falling to your measly blows.
22 for the first hit.
Hold on.
Hit it.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, that
Thank
feels
God.
so good.
Saving throw.
As he's bent over,
You're
I
wearing
wanna.
the shirt even.
I know I'm wearing the shirt. As he's bent over, and I just saw my brother attack him with fire. I hit him with fire again, straight through the eyeball that's remaining.
Fuck yeah.
Through the back of his head.
Okay, out of the way as it onto the muddy ground in front of you. Everyone kind of takes a breath for a second.
I start sticking my hands in a puddle on the ground.
See Vax on with his hands.
Yes, you see him currently like putting out his hands.
What?
Could you fix these?
Oh.
Fix
Did it
him.
work, though? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it worked. It's good, but they kind of sting a little bit.
Okay. I just put my hands in his hands and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, so you heal 12 hit points.
Heal. I also just kind of hold their hands for a second.
I walk through and bust through their hands
There you go.
to talk to the guards.
Okay, the guards who currently are just checking to make sure it's dead, they're like stabbing its body as, you know.
Putting the guns away and walking over the guards as well.
Okay.
Are any of them in berets?
You don't know, because you're not there. He kind of reaches up for a second and wipes this kind of bit of, black blood kind of stuck to its chin from the fight. And kind of. So, what's next?
Now we rest up. You heal and you get ready to attack tomorrow.
All right. What time?
Tomorrow at dawn we take the castle.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Men.
Spread the word.
Dawn.
Dawn. Dawn, it is. Sheathes his weapon. The other men kind of stand up, and one of them makes one final stabs into the body of the zombie. Like, yeah, take that. And they begin to walk back towards town.
Just that wall, yeah.
I pull out my flame tongue
fighting.
dagger and just look in 2 or 3 graves. I don't know if there's anything in there.
You trying
take a
to
look.
grave rob
He's trying
right now?
to loot
Rob
right now.
who?
Make an
That's-
investigation.
Yeah, they're empty, man. Oh, there's a 15.
Literally going to steal from my great-grandfather.
I'm just looking.
All right.
Glancing about, you notice that the coffins are still there at the bottom.
Yeah.
But they're all open. The lids are off.
Right.
And they're empty entirely. Like whatever body is gone. Eventually, The rain still heavily coming down. You guys keeping warm and out of the way to the far western wall, kind of keeping behind a bush. The rest of the party arrives. The gnomes and Goliath Barbarian waiting for you as you approach.
Need to hide.
How is everyone? Did you defeat your giant?
Totally did. We
did.
You,
pretty awesome.
You know who defeated ours? Pike, because she's the fucking bomb.
Pike.
How did you get here, Pike? How did you know?
And I think about you all constantly, and every day I felt a heaviness. I've been sort of in deep prayer and meditation, and I knew you guys were in a very dark place, and I just prayed that Sarah and Ray would send me to you. And so here I am, sort of as an avatar, but I'm here and I want to help in any way that I can. I just know something's off, and I don't quite know what that is yet.
Her form shimmers for a second, almost like the energy that keeps her corporeal in this location for a moment kind of flickers, and then she is restored to her form. You get the sense that
This isn't gonna last
that she's not actually physically here. This projection, this divine projection, is a channeling of Sarah and Ray's power, keeping her here for the moment.
Damn, Sarah.
Hey, do you want to take Percy's temperature?
Should we find a place to hide first?
Yeah, should we find a...
There's a secret passage. There's a secret entrance to the castle, to the west, in the woods. I think perhaps if we made our way there, we could...
Kind of get inside? Yeah.
Camp out, perhaps.
All right, let's make our
It
way
would
that
be a
way.
roof over our heads if we got there, and we could take care of anyone.
Percy's thinking very clearly. He's fine.
He's rubbing his eyes a lot.
He's had this weird cough for like a couple days.
He's allergic to cats or something.
Pike,
It's
as we're
fine.
walking,
Not allergic to cats.
Pike, he has a black smoke coming out of his body all the time.
I have lightning coming out of my arse.
Yeah, well, you choose to do that.
Yeah.
Let's make our way to somewhere quiet.
The tunnel widens up to about roughly 8 to 10 feet wide, and just seems to curl forward before disappearing around a gradual edge about 50 feet ahead of you.
I'm fine.
Pike, can you take a look at this cough before we take a rest?
Yeah, take a look at him, Pike.
Are we in the tunnel?
You're in the tunnel right
Can I
now.
grab some of the boulders and cover up the way we came in?
You take a moment to inspect Percy, looking at his features, kind of checking his pulse, and generally just getting a sense of his life force in general. There is an unrest to his energy, and there is no physical natural illness or discernible disease, but there is something unsettling about his presence that you never sensed before. Lesser or greater restoration?
I'll do greater. Do you
Okay.
mind, Percy? Or
No.
is this...
No.
Okay, so as Pike reaches up, you kind of grab his face again and you close your eyes and concentrate. Her hands begin to glow with an extremely bright vibrance, even more so than her kind of gently luminescent form right now. It's almost like there's a blowtorch of radiant energy right around his jaw. The rest of her form almost seems to put so much energy into it that her legs begin to dissipate and vanish, almost like she's putting all of her energy into this moment. The rest of her body kind of fading in towards the grasp. You feel this warmth kind of wash through your entire body, and for a brief moment, for the first time in a number of weeks, there's a moment of serenity to you. Your eyes instinctually close, and for a second, you feel like you're standing next to Pike in a void of darkness. As that warmth hits Pike, you sense something there. You sense a seed of darkness. There's something in him that you can almost reach out and grasp, and in that imaginative space, you thrust your hand out and grab onto it, and it's taut and it's fighting, but you pull and wrest it forth, and as you do, you feel it burn and dissipate. At which point, both of you guys open your eyes and kind of breathe in succession with each other. The energy fades from your hands, and your form goes back to its full, radiant physicality. You can remove a corruption point from yourself.
Ooh.
How do you feel, Percy?
I feel better. I feel more like myself.
But
I
he's
do.
still coughing.
Well, I'm still coughing, but I feel much better. Thank
What
you.
did you just do to him, Pike?
I I just tried to find out what this is. Is there... This is gonna sound like a very weird question, but does part of you want to hold on to some of this?
It could be. I'm not quite finished yet.